And this is a part that they could check out too. So go, if you search the site, just type in the word free.
This one? Oh, that's the.
Yeah, and you have the option to download the youth one too. If you need to do a youth shirt, that's youth,
Okay.
toddler, and onesie size. But you just
I
need.
think I might already have this.
Okay, if you think so, then you can go to where the file is downloaded. It won't charge you anything. It's just going to have you download it.
Is it the Vapor?
Yes,
Vapor
that's it right
jerseys?
there. You got
Okay.
it, love. Okay, so if you right click on that, now it wants to open in Photoshop. If you right click and go to open with, well, I tell you what, are you using Designer? Do you have Affinity Photo or you only have Affinity Designer?
Just Designer.
Let's see if it'll open with Designer. I've never tried it before. Affinity Photo is kind of the answer to
It's
Photoshop on the
there.
Affinity side. So let's see, does it have the layers? It
Uh-huh,
doesn't
it did
have the
it.
layers, but I think this works for what we're going to do because we're just sizing it, correct?
Okay.
All right, so let's check out our document size. I'm going to go to the file and was it file? No, it was file. Document setup. I'm going to see if it pulls in the correct size. So instead of document units and pixels, I'm going to put inches and just check it. So it came in at the right size, 44 inches by 36 inches. So this is the size of the sheet that I would print large format for you and roll up and send to you. So this is the size that you can also go by when you're printing from home and tiling. So I always tell you, if you work from one template, you can always switch modes if you need to. So
Okay.
if this is the one, and I want you to show me exactly how you would drag the image onto there, or import it, or however you would do it normally in your in this
In
program.
here? Okay. Normally I would just
Just drag it right on there, perfect.
okay.
And then you'll resize it.
Uh-huh. Do
Now
I go all the way?
let me help you out just a little bit. Can you undo that for just a moment? I wanted to show you. There's a way where you can stretch this out without pulling it like that, and it's going to give you
Okay.
best results because
Okay.
you won't distort your image. So hold down Shift and pull one of those corners. Hold down Shift. Yep. Is it locking for you or no? No, it's still
No.
letting you move it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's hit undo there. There is. Hold on, just a moment. I'm trying to see how in Designer you're gonna lock your aspect ratio. And let me see if it shift. Shift is not doing it here. Let's go back and that's weird. In this program, Alt does it. In every other program, including Affinity Photo, I think Shift does it. So I'm going to undo what I just did. I want you to hold down Alt and drag one of your corners there. And then once you get to the edge here, you can pull the edge up to the top. And I think you can even pull it from the top and bottom. Are you holding down Alt when you do that?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I guess when you pull from the top and bottom, it doesn't keep it like that. Okay. Now go ahead and move this, take this layer and move it below the background layer. All right, and for the background layer, we can leave it locked because we don't want that to move around. Now, I want you to kind of keep in mind what size shirt you're going to be printing. Are you printing like a large or?
The largest one is the extra large. Okay. So it's small to small, medium, extra large.
Got you. So you won't be going really past, see where this 2X, 3X is? That's the bleed you would need to make sure that you make. But you can see here that on a small and medium, you would be cutting off some of these words here. So what I'm going to suggest you do is shrink it down until those words fit inside of the smallest shirt.
Shrink my image down?
There you go. and then kind of move it towards the center. And then what we're going to do, because you don't have anything on the outside, we're just going to create a little, a little gradient or fade or something for the outside of this area, just in case we need it on those sleeves. But honestly, I doubt you will need it, because by the time you finish shrinking this in, faces out of the armpit, I would even make it a tiny bit smaller, just to make sure, yeah, or shift it, there you go. Because I don't care about the sleeve as much as I care about the faces. And you see this dotted box here? That's the box that I use to tell you that it's text and print safe and photo safe. So even if the hat's outside of there, I want to make sure nobody's eyes or faces are cut off, right? I want to make sure that no text is going to get cut off. And even like the bottom of that C is not that bad. The majority of the text is in our safe area. That's where we're going to feel best. Okay. So
my box is my safe area.
Yes, exactly. That's why I tell you, use this template. It will work for small all the way up to 3X, right? So you do see that if you're printing only up to an extra large, you're good right here in this bleed area. You're going to be just fine. You're even good on the bleed area for the sleeves. So you will be just fine if you do it like this. My suggestion, if you had to do, like, let's say you were going to do 1 2X or 1 3X, my suggestion would be to take a color, maybe this dark green, and fade it from the edge of the sleeve and fade it from the bottom up, just to kind of give it some color in case your shirt kind of slides in that region.
So what do you mean by that?
Let's show you that. That'll be a good thing to show you. So let's go ahead and create a new pixel layer. I'm guessing that's how it would be in Designer. Like I said, I've never touched Designer before, so I'm guiding you semi-blinded, okay? But this just goes to show you, once you learn one program, you can pretty much get them all. All right, so did it duplicate it, or did it create a new, should have been a new blank pixel layer. Is this your new pixel layer here? Right next to the trash can, this checkerboard here? Can you click on
this one down? Right here?
Right here under your layers. Do you see where your layers are? And you see where I'm hovering? Can you see where I'm hovering the mouse, or you don't see where I'm hovering the mouse?
I don't see.
Okay, so in your layers panel where you see background and then your JD grad image, at the bottom of that panel, there is a square that has checkerboard on it.
Right here? Where my mouse is?
Oh, no. On the right-hand side in your layers, you have a layers tab. See that tab that says layers?
Okay, yeah,
Go to the bottom of that panel, and look on the right side next to that trash can.
Right here.
Yep, click on that.
Okay.
That's adding a new pixel layer. So that means that's a layer we can paint on, and it won't affect any other layer, okay? So we're going to do a gradient here, all right? The gradients are tough things, but as soon as you learn them, you're going to love them. So let's come over to our gradient tool, which I'm assuming is on the left-hand side, that little color circle. Yeah,
right here.
Click on that. All right, and let's see right now, with it having a fill, we want this to be a gradient. So let me see what our options are here.
Okay, I see your mouse.
Yeah, and then the fill for this is, as a matter of fact, let's see. And I don't know in Designer if you can do gradients, but I think you can. It's an answer to Illustrator, and it adds a little bit of bitmap in there, so you can do a little bit what Photoshop does. But let's see, we want to definitely do a gradient. Let me see if they have gradients. Oh, they do. So I went over to swatches. If you see here on the right hand side, swatches, and then instead of colors, I'm going to go to gradients and see what gradients it has. All we need is basically a black and white gradient. I would love for it to be black to transparent, and there it is. See, asking you shall receive. Okay, so what I'm doing with the black to transparent is that I want it to have opaque color, but I want it to fade off into clear, right? I want it to fade off into transparent. Let me see if I can try this first, and then once I get it, there we go. Not hard at all. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I just did. I'm going to Control Z. Now, first thing first, I'm going to get off of my pixel layer. I want you to click the pixel layer to make sure that you're on the pixel layer and not on top of your image. That's the first mistake people make. So how do you get to your pixel layer? Perfect. So we're on the pixel layer. Whatever we do right now is going to be done to this blank layer we made. All right. So what I just did was I selected the gradient, Right now it's black to, and if you look black to transparent, go ahead and select that one. Now we can change the color once we get it set. So go ahead. Now I'll start from the inside meat. And what I mean by inside meat is inside of the image, just barely inside of the image. And then you're going to pull it towards the inside of the image. So where your mouse is right now, you're on the outskirts. You want to be on the inner city. Okay? Control Z and undo that. So once you touch it down, where your mouse is, I want you to be inside of the image. Don't be scared. We're not going to mess it up. Inside of where the green starts.
Okay, right here.
And I want you to touch it down and then pull it towards the center.
Towards the center?
And I want you to hold down shift while you're doing it. Did you feel it lock up so you can't make it go a crazy angle?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so pull it just a little bit more. That's it right there. Hit enter.
Okay.
Or just let it go.
Let it go.
And what happened was when you let go of shift, it did it at an angle, but that's fine because this is the sleeve here, so it's not a big deal. Now we can leave it black like this and it will be black. But if you click on that black circle, you see how it goes black to white? Click on the black circle. Okay, and you see how your black color shows up right here up in your swatches? Now you can change that color. If we go to the color tab, you should have some preset colors. Oh, I guess it doesn't. I guess that would be in your swatches.
So if I wanted to.
Now let me tell you my trick. Get that little color dropper right there, that little eyedropper. Just select it. Just hit the eyedropper. And I want you to drag it. So drag that over into one of your dark green areas on your picture. So, you see what it's doing?
Oh, yes.
And drop it like it's hot. Let it go. Okay, now in order to pick that color, now click that circle. Baby, you got it. You got it. You got it. Okay, so now I want you to also do that from the bottom up. Now this time I want you to hold down the shift because I want you to make sure that it stays kind of even, unless you want it to go at an angle. If you want it to go at an angle, actually it makes sense because your graphic kind of goes at an angle. So you play with it, start on the inside meat. It's okay. You live and you learn. If you mess up, just Control Z. There you go. And you want to start from the inside meat and go up towards your graphic, right?
But it just took it away from the other.
So in this case, what it's doing, go ahead and do Control Z. So in this program, it's not allowing you to do multiple gradients on the same layer. So do me a favor.
So I got to add another one.
You got it. There you go. And then go ahead and make this gradient how you want it to be. Click and drag. Click first and then drag it. And you'll be able to preview it before you commit to it.
Okay.
Oh, you need to
click on
layer.
It.
Perfect.
Okay.
You got it. Now it did.
Oh, I didn't do gray.
Cool. If it did that,
so I need to change it.
Exactly. That just teaches you. So go back to your swatches up top where your colors are. And what are you going to choose?
Gradients.
I'm going to give you an idea. You see Recents up there? What do you think Recents has selected if you select that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I could have did green. Since I did green.
Right. See if will it let you? Okay, go ahead and try it and see. And pull it and stretch it. There you go. That's good right there. All right. So now in order to commit that to the green, what do you have to do?
I have to click my box here, my circle.
That's it. That black circle.
Change it to green. My green.
Bam, you got it. And you don't have to do that to the other side because it already has the image there. But remember, you're telling me if you shifted it a little bit, it did something funny as far as pulling the image one way a little too much. Well, now you have a solution to that. But I'm going to tell you in the future, you're going to have a solution to that because you're going to make your own templates and your own designs. So for right now, if someone gives you a file that's just falls a little bit too short on a side, this is a technique that you can use to kind of fill up that space, and it takes no time at all. Once you have this down pat, you just let it roll. Okay, so now I want these. I want to take that background layer and I want to pull it up to the top of all of this right now. So on your layers panel, go to the background layer, the one that has and go ahead and pull it all the way to the top.
Pull background up to
the top layers. So did you know you can shift your layers like that? You can pick them up and pull them? There you go. You got it. Let it go. Perfect. Now for this one, we're going to have to select this white and make our own kind of cutout. So I'm going to give you, let's see what we use here. I'm pretty sure you have some type of like magic wand tool. And let me see if I can just find it, or that's the artboard tool. You have to have a mask tool here. I'm almost positive that you do. But maybe not, because if this is designer, this is more like Illustrator, and Illustrator doesn't have that direct capacity. But let me just go ahead and I'm going to draw this real quick with the pen tool for you. And I'm basically going to retrace this shape. So bear with me for just a moment. I will tell you that with those templates, there is one that has just the white outline without this guidelines, and I would normally just bring that in because that'll make it ready to print. And I'm not being exact with this at all. You can see I'm making a little bit of curve there just so that you'll know, but that's it. I just made a shape there. And let's see, for that shape, I want to fill it. Just give it a stroke there. Stroke is black. I want it to be white. Close. And how do I increase the size of that stroke? I'm guessing that's here. And we'll set it to the outside. Now, this is not what you need to be doing. I'm just doing this so that I can at least show you if we take off this guide layer, basically what you're looking at printing out, right? Okay. So I just made that real quick. This is still going to work for you, but what I would suggest is that you pull in the version of it. I don't know if you didn't download the whole folder, but there is a version of it in the folder that's just the white outline. If you bring that in and then bring in the guide separate, then you will have this template forever that basically you sandwich your design in there. You put your design in there, you turn off the guides when you're ready to print, and you turn them on when you're designing. Okay, so that looks good right there. I'm going to go ahead and just make all of this on the outside white just so we're not looking at it. So here we go. The pen tool is something you will need to learn how to use, but that's not what you want to learn right now. I'm guaranteeing that. I'm just kind of cheating, and the way that I told you to go grab the template, that's how you would go get that other template. You go to the free files. In that folder, you'll see one, and it might even be PDF, PNG, whatever it is. And I'm just creating a shape here. And now for this one, I'm going to tell it that my fill is going to be white and there's no stroke. I just made a shape there. I don't want you to focus on that part of it. It's being what you want to be concerned with. I'm just showing you something clean that you know you can print and look at now, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we also know that this is a little bit smaller than the 2x, 3x, so we know that we're not going to print 2x, 3x with this. This is strictly going to be up to extra large. So the first thing that I'm going to do when I'm getting ready to prep this for printing, which is what we're really here for, right? All right, first thing you want to do is File, Save As. You want to save this as a PDF. So let's go File, Save As, and let's see if it will. It might make you have to export it, but when it says Save As, type. Okay, so go to Cancel there. And because this is Affinity Designer, let's go to File and let's see if it has an export option. File, Export, yep.
Export.
Yep, export. And let's export that so it has a PDF option, right? And for the size, 300 dpi is fine. The whole document, absolutely. And go ahead and export. And you can put it on your desktop or wherever you're going to remember that this is. Whatever helps you.
Okay. And save.
Go ahead and save that. All right. So the beautiful part is we're about halfway done. Okay. Now the hard part is going to be tiling all these sheets together, as you know. But
Yeah.
we'll have a little time to go over some questions after this. So in your search bar, I want you to type in Acrobat because you're going to open Adobe Acrobat now.
Okay, I have Pro.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I know Pro is a paid, isn't it? That's a paid program because I think I have Adobe Acrobat Pro as well, but it's with my Adobe subscription. So let's see. Let's go ahead and do File Open. Right. And I see you probably almost got here last night. So go ahead
Yeah,
and
I
find the file.
did.
You almost had this. What is it?
I was watching a video from the PDF for
Right.
the Photoshop.
So you pretty much got this. All right. So perfect. Now we're going to go File and Print. And we're not going to print from here, just to let you know. When we do file print, we're basically saying, hey, we want to change this printer to Adobe PDF. You got it, Adobe PDF.
I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
But I was doing it this part first and then trying to put it into Affinity, and that's why I was getting mixed up at. Okay. So I have to do Affinity first and then do the PDF.
Right.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a sandwich deal. Like you lay it out, you get it right, then you pull it over to the PDF just to tile it. And the only reason why I do that is because this does a terrific job. Photoshop doesn't even do this. This does a terrific job of creating the poster tiles. And this is where back in the day, we didn't have the large format printers. So back in the day, we had to tile images, and that's where the term tiling comes from. So we had to tile smaller images to make a big image. That's what you're doing right now. Okay. So when you put it, and you're on the right setting, so most people wouldn't see this right now. They wouldn't have poster selected. You have poster selected, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what I want you to do before we go on, go to your properties right up there. And we're going to tell it what let's see, the layout. I'm just clicking here, trying to remember for myself. Paper quality. Mm-hmm. We want to change the size here. There we go. So normally the default settings is going to be high quality print. I want to, out the letter size. Now for the default settings here, instead of standard, I always go high quality print. Okay. And that might even be in your export option. Make sure you're on high quality print so it tries to preserve the colors and the fidelity of the photos. That's really, really important. And then the next thing is you want to come down here to this paper size. Click on that letter and let's see what size we have available. Do we have Super B?
I think I added it yesterday. There it is. Okay.
There it is. All right, so that's perfect. And let me just make sure nothing else. Okay, so you can hit OK there. And now it should update. Now it updates to 8 tiles. And you know good and well that for what you're printing, you really only need these top 4 and these 2 here, right? Mm-hmm. And you can probably even shift this to where you can get all of this within 3 and 2 tiles. But I err on the safe side of just saying, hey, I'll use 1 extra sheet of paper and not risk cutting out something really important. Because what happens is you're going to tell it the overlap that you want. And this is the beauty of this little simple program. So for the overlap, I want you to put 0.5 inches, which is a very forgiving overlap. Half an inch. 0.5. And you'll have half an inch on either side of the paper. So if you cut off a little bit on one side, you'll still have a little bit on the other side of the graphic. So 0.5 inches, and then click over here to just say click over there on the tile scale. You don't need to change it. I just want to make sure that your tiles aren't going to change. So I'll just click off of it. So when you create a difference in overlap, and I'm going to show you where it makes an extreme difference. Let's say my overlap is going to be 4 inches. But if you do a 4-inch overlap, you definitely slipping. So let's see. I'm trying to make it a big enough overlap, 8-inch overlap, to where it's going to give me more sheets. Come on, buddy. 8 inches won't give me. Okay, 12 inches. Now that has got to. Yeah. I'm doing an overlap here. Maybe it's after a certain amount of overlap, it just doesn't read it. But when I increase this overlap, it's supposed to increase the number of pages that it takes.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so I just told it I was doing a 12-inch overlap, and it probably thought I was crazy. So let me go with a 4. Okay, and I just click on my preview, and then it's kind of showing me. I just wanted you to see that if you're printing something bigger and you need more, so it lets you know that that's not going to work.
Okay.
So we're going to stick with our 0.5. Uh-oh, I wasn't finished. I guess I hit enter. What it's doing right now is it's trying to print all of those tiles as a PDF. Now, a PDF, of course, is not a printer that you have. It's a virtual file, right?
Right.
So
is it going to print 6 sheets or 8 sheets?
It's going to give you 8 tiles, okay?
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to know that when we print up to an extra large, maybe even a 2X, that we don't need those extra 2 pieces on the side. So we're just not going to print those.
Oh, okay.
Now, what you could do, you can always like literally crop the file down to the exact size. I just don't do that because I move through these files so often that I want like a one and done kind of printout. And then if I have a little extra ink and paper, it's fine. I very rarely am going to get this down to 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets. Anyhow, so I'm going to use 6 sheets regardless. Then I'll just let it go. Now, you can use a significant amount of ink more if you're going from like a small to a 3X. So basically, this prints up to presses up to a 3X. If you're only printing smalls and like youth mediums, you don't want to use this big of a template. Because you're wasting more paper, more ink, more time that it's going to take to tile these together. So let's let it do what it's doing right now, hopefully. I'm going to check the settings, though, to make sure that once this completes, that I did everything exactly how you should do it. So when you review this video, you can make sure all your settings are the exact same. You can just go check, check, check.
Okay.
And get it done.
And this right here, what we just did is basically if you already have a template and you just need to print it and cut it. That's all this was.
Right.
Okay.
Like you already have your design ready to go. You're just and most of the time you're going to be designing in your blank template. So let's say for the future, if you want to know how to design this exact design, then we would pull in these elements. We would pull in the confetti. We would pull in the graduates, cheering. We would pull in the photos and type the text. So we would do all of that. And that's what I was saying. That's one of those sessions, if you want to build from scratch, it's more like it's going to be a 2-hour session. If we're taking a template we already have and replacing elements, which I have a template that is very similar to this, but maybe we just add the confetti. So that would take an hour session for us to take that template, add that confetti. It's already got the grad silhouette raising their arms up, and then maybe we put a photo of this looks like a photo of the grad cap in the front. We do that, and bam, you're done.
Okay.
And then you're able to change it in the future.
And also this right here that we just did, say for instance, like when I was trying it before and I was just uploading the image into Affinity, it was cutting off some of the glasses, distorting her lip. So what we just did by doing this in Adobe and then, bring it back over here, it's going to eliminate all of that. So now my tiles are going to line up together.
Right. Well, what'll happen is you'll have a true overlap. Now, the way that you were printing it before literally cut your image. So if you trim any part of that image, if you trim even just a sliver of it, then it's not going to add up. So then people will get to where I got 2, 3 tiles to line up, but I can't get the 4th one. It will never happen. It is impossible, to say the least. So if you're trying to make the impossible possible, is going to drive you crazy. So at least this way, you have overlap. You have that kind of safe area that you can trim off. Now, the thing that you may get with this is when you overlap, you have a little bit of uneven pressure in the paper because where one piece of paper overlaps the next piece of paper, you have an area that can have uneven pressure. So you have to make sure you have good even pressure. That kind of eliminates the fact that in that seam, and I'll call it a seam, that's where you're seaming two tiles together. In that seam, your paper's twice as thick.
Okay.
So you have to make sure you have good pressure for that, and not too much pressure that is going to make it obvious. So that's a part of playing with it too. So if you have an old shirt or something, I would just print out two different. It doesn't even matter if they're tiled or not, but I would print out two sheets of paper and just practice, put them together, and what my pressure needs to be, so that when I press that, I don't see that seam in the middle.
Okay.
Okay. And then you'll get to see where I got a little frustrated. Where it took me so long to put that video out, because I'm like, yeah, I don't really do tiling anymore. It's a you have to, it's a labor of love. Let me put it that
It
way.
is.
It's a labor of love, especially when the client doesn't understand how much more love it takes to make that shirt than it does
Right.
one 13x19 in the middle of the shirt. So you kind of have to give them that. They don't know. They just know, hey, somebody else charges this for all of a shirt. That's what I want.
Exactly.
So if we in the future, if we can help you, if you have quite a few of these, send you the prints, and then you can still multi-press. I do my up to my extra larges with 4 presses. I do it 2 sideways for the sleeves. So I go up
Uh-huh.
to the center neck. So from one end of the sleeve to the center of the neck, I do 1 press. The other sleeve to the center neck, 2 press, and then I do 2
Okay.
presses down the center, from the center to the left on the bottom, and from the center to the right to the bottom. 4 presses,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that all over's done, and I don't have to towel anything. But yeah, this is gonna, now when you're at a crunch and you can't wait for things to be shipped to you, this is how you almost have to go. But at
Yeah.
least you can go ahead and get this going to where it can be printing in the background. You're working on your 13x19 designs. You're working on everything else, because this stuff kind of comes in fluxes.
Hmm.
So you're always overwhelmed, and you can work on something else while these prints are going.
Okay, so when I'm printing the extra large and the large would be the 13x19, can I use? Do I still have to use the 13x19 for the small and the medium, or can I do 11x17 on the small and the mediums?
If you would still want to stick with your 13x19.
Okay.
Once you get a process, I don't even carry 11x17 paper anymore. I
Oh,
got to the
really?
point where the cost of the paper wasn't worth like me changing it up in my mind and on my computer, my settings.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if you mess up, and let's say you start printing these 13x19 tiles on 11x17 paper, guess what? It's gonna be cut off.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you do a whole nother setup. Like what we're doing right now, you would also have to file print as a PDF for 11x17 tiles.
Okay.
And you can, but is it worth saving? Because that paper is probably very minimal difference
Hmm.
than the process of possibly messing up those 8 sheets of paper with ink and time and all of the above.
Okay.
Because you know how long it take to print 8 of these sheets or 6 of these sheets. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 3.5. You were talking about all over color. 3.5 to 5 minutes per sheet is not
Hmm.
the type of time you want to be wasting. And then when it stops in the middle of your print,
Yes.
that's the big one. And this is going to help you, because if it stops in the middle of your print, guess what? Every tile is numbered. So it's numbered page 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it
Oh,
stops
okay.
in the middle of 4, you don't have to say, well, dang, which tile was that? How do I reposition this to print out just tile number 4? You just go to the page number 4 and you reprint that page only.
Okay.
Okay. And this thing is still flat and it's working.
Hmm. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and I would love to see your final product too. If you share with us on
Okay.
Innate Creatives, then that
Okay,
way
I
you
will.
can boast about your tiling.
Look, somebody else gonna want to come take this class now. It was so
Absolutely.
easy. I mean, it's just you just brought it all together. I mean, it was like I know I could do this, but like I said, I was doing it all backwards. I was doing the actual um, design in Infinity first, and I didn't even know anything about the PDF until you actually said something about it yesterday.
Well, I'm glad. And you know what? You almost got there on your own. And I'm going to tell you like this. I can tell people all day, like, follow a video. I know it's a little bit different when we do it together and live. And it's not just because you have attention, it's just because it's your project. And I'll tell you this,
Mm-hmm.
if you were doing your homework versus watching somebody else do their homework, it feels a little different.
Yeah.
So you learn it better, you're more engaged, you're ready to take notes when it's you. And then if somebody
Look,
else
I
doing it, it's
would
like,
tell
oh, I'm
anybody to take
clicking.
this class. I would tell everybody to take this class because, like I said, you just brought everything together. I mean, just watching the videos, yeah, I can watch that video all day long, but it's not like this one-on-one where I'm actually doing it. And so it's like, since I'm sitting here with you, it's like it's all coming together now. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like it's just, I knew it all along. It was like I did know it.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Let's see for a second now what it did. It pulled it up because you don't probably have it set up to open up in the program. Let's see. It's doing some choppiness here. So let's figure out why it's doing that.
Yeah.
But you do see that it basically gave you a page for each one. Let's figure out. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna close out this YouTube tab.
Okay.
That's
That's
the
fine.
tab, right? Okay. Then that way it won't be using up additional resources. We'll keep that tab open, and let me go to File, Print, and I'm gonna see what the settings are here. So we're gonna do. And it's printing landscape as in the whole image. So I'm just checking the settings here. We have it on poster. We never want to take it off of 100% unless, let's say like you're doing a small shirt and you just know. Okay. I'm going to try this right now. You just know that, hey, I'm printing like a youth shirt and it's 80% of the size. And maybe at that point still doesn't, it gives you 6 tiles now, but you can obviously see that you might be able to cut that down. Let's see, 70%. So now at 70%, I can get it all on 4 pages. Something like that. But for the most part, if you're printing what you're printing, never take it off of 100%.
Right.
Because that will affect your end product. So we're going to do 100%. Let's see, landscape is fine here. I want to make sure that comment and forms, and that shouldn't be important, but I don't need all the other stuff. What I want to make sure is that we're getting the high quality print. We don't need any security. Oh, that's what it was doing. That's why it was taking so long. You see that? It says prompt for the PDF file name. So it was actually waiting on us to tell it what to name the file. Believe it or not. So view PDF results. I'm going to take that off.
Okay.
And I don't need to add document information. I don't need to rely on system fonts only, because what it's doing also is, depending on if we exported this as a flat image or as a PDF, because when we export as PDF, it's probably still editable as PDF. Let's see. I'm going to try this first because what it's doing is trying to preserve the editability of it. We don't need it to edit any further. We could care less if this was a flat file. So when I go to export this now, I'm going to make sure that I export it PDF, and I'm going to flatten it. Okay. That way it doesn't even try to make it large. I'll still keep it at 300 DPI. And we'll do the whole document again. And don't export layers hidden. We don't need to export any hidden layers. Like that would be like and that's the other thing. If you have hidden layers, it might be trying to keep those as part of the beta, and we don't need that. So let's go. Make sure there's nothing else that we need. Rasterize everything. We want 300 DPI. JPEG compression is fine. Embed the ICC profile. Now that's important if you have an ICC profile that you're working with. The one that I use is this one right here, this sRGB with the 2.1. That's my color profile that I choose to use. You may or may not want to use that based on how your results are. So let's see, color space. You want to make sure that you're in RGB. But it says as in the document. So I'm assuming that your document is RGB. And then that should all be good. So let's export. And let's try this again. I'm just going to save this as test this time. Test PDF. All right, so now it's going to export that. We'll open up our Adobe here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this, and I'm going to close out of this one. Then let's do File, Open. And if you don't have, for those that are watching, if you don't have Adobe Acrobat Pro, you can get the Acrobat Reader, which is a free version of this. All right, so test is ready. Let's grab her and say open. All right, so same thing here. I'm going to go File, Print, and make sure all of our properties are correct. It's still saved on the same thing. Now the overlap, look at it. It defaulted to 0.005. We want a 0.5 overlap. Now let's make sure of that. Okay. So now that will be good to go. Let's print, and then we have to be mindful because it's going to ask us where we want this to go. So test PDF, and then we'll call this tile. And what it's going to do is going to put a number after it. So now that I put the word tile after it, it'll put tile 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. And then we're going to know based on how it numbers it, which 2 tiles we're not going to print. It'll probably be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll probably be 5 and 8 that we won't print. All right, so it looks like it's rolling. And meanwhile, let's go back to Infinity. Let's let the Adobe do what it does, and we'll go back here. If you want to save this right now, just in case, you know, we got a couple of programs, high intensity programs running. My goal is to hit Control S at least a couple of times during, you know, while my file is open. I can't tell you how many times I've designed a whole thing. Yep, Control S. Now you can save as. So this is a good thing for a designer. It doesn't really recognize this type of file. So we're going to save it. You can save it now, and it will be an Affinity file. Okay. And meanwhile, let me show you, if you're going to keep with this designer, Affinity Designer, let me show you where to download. So it's this one. Go ahead and do me a favor and check out with that. Matter of fact, you have it. Go ahead and log into your account, and you'll see your downloads, and I'll show you where you can download the outline version of that template. So you could just go to, yep, you're logging in. And on the left-hand side, you'll see My Downloadable Products. Yep. Uh-oh. Ain't mean for all your little information to be up there. All right, so let's do the adult one. So if you go to download that.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's going to look like nothing's happening. And, of course, you have to sign in order for you to get to that folder. And I don't know, I guess that's just a rule for Google Drive. I'm not mad at it.
I need to sign in?
Yeah, in order to see what's in the folder, it makes you sign in. So there you go. Okay, so let me see here. I think this is it right here. And if I click on it, it should show me the name of it. Blank template only bleed. Okay, so this is the one that has only the bleed. So if you right click, and you can download this one. If you want to download it wherever you download the other one, just so that you can have it in the future. All right, so test file is ready. Yay! That's what we came here for. But real quick, let me show you, because we can close out this file once we get this on here. So I'm going to delete my little mess that I made earlier. That was just me being quick. We can go File, and I believe you can Place. And let's go ahead and place that PNG file. Open. And it should bring it in the appropriate size, but if it does not, then we'll deal with that. Oh, there it goes. Oh no! I thought this was just the bleed. So my bad. I guess I have to make you one with just the bleed. But just and that makes sense, because I thought I did that for people with these type of programs, because not everyone, like some people are designing in Paint. But what's weird is I don't see it on here. I must have just turned off the layers, and because it's PDF, it's remembering that those layers were there, because this is just a little bit weird. So all it should be showing is that white outline of the box. That is definitely odd. Now we'll show you that you can place this. Affinity Designer, that's the one we just saved. Or did we save it in the same place? Do you know? Did you save it on the desktop?
I don't think I saved it. Did I?
When we hit download, where did we hit download?
It was just at the bottom. It's right down there.
Okay, so it probably, okay, it went to somewhere else then. Okay, let's right click and see where it went to. Let's right click, and then when you right click, you can go to open, show in folder. Uh-oh, well now it just disappeared. It's probably going to your downloads folder or something like that. It just naturally goes to. So.
Wait a minute, let me go back.
You can just hit download right here too. Yep, that button right there. So now you know 2 different ways you can download it. And then when you right click, don't regularly click on it, right click on it. And then I want you to do show in folder. This is what I do anytime I save something and I don't know where it goes. Look where it went, downloads, perfect. So we can right click on that and we can cut it. We can cut that where it is from that location. And then paste it into your all over t-shirt templates right here. You see
in Infinity? Which one?
This folder. I think you had the all over t-shirt templates. Is that the folder you were saving up?
Yeah.
And just right click and paste. There you go. Now when we bring that in, let's go back to Affinity. And I'll let you do it this time. Now go to File, Place.
Where?
Go to your Affinity.
Go back to that.
And now you should see an option for the other PNG right there.
This.
And just go open. Not open it. Just hit the button open. That's a little odd. I'm sorry. Yep, right there.
Okay.
And then now you're going to be placing it. It's going to give you that little icon. Just place it, like put your mouse in the middle of the board and just tap it. There we go. Okay, so now we can drag that, move it to where it is right on top of the guides layer. And it should fit right on this board, like real snug, edge to edge. There you go. So remember before where I had haphazardly kind of drawn that little outside? Now you have that, and then you can even turn back on your guide. So you can say, okay, so what I tell people is this layer, I label it, I call it turn on to print.
Okay.
Right? And then this layer, instead of calling it background, I'm going to double click it and say turn off to print.
Okay.
Because some people have actually sent me this file with these guides on it before, and I could do nothing with it. So you want to turn this on to design, but turn it off to print, and there you go. So go ahead and save this file. You got your template, girl, ready to go. Go ahead and save that one. And then we're going to close out of it, because when we get ready to print, we don't want anything extra to be open, no big files to be open, because it could kind of throw off how Photoshop communicates with the printer. And then we just want to eliminate issues.
Okay. So just name this.
Whatever you want to name it. It's perfectly fine, so that you know what it is. Okay. And just hit save there. There you go. All right. And once it saves, we can go ahead and close out of that one.
Close out this?
We can actually close that as well, right? And then let's go ahead and close out of this little window. Click that little X right here. I don't know if you can see where my mouse is hovering over.
Oh, okay, right here.
That little X out right there.
Right here?
We already saved it.
Okay.
Document. And then we're even going to close this document, that little X there. All right, so we got a fresh, clean slate. Let's see what happens when we go to File, Open. I'm going to see if this opens like Photoshop does. Okay. And we're going to look on the desktop. There should be a...
On my desktop.
it should be called test and test-tile. Okay. Now the problem is this is good to see. It's not showing because it might be showing. Here, scroll down a little bit. I just want to see how it shows up, because we want to see if it's going to show up as, there it is. So that's the tile version. The one that says test PDF tile. Click on that. And go to open, and we're going to see how it opens. So it says, see how it says load all pages, or you can load specific pages, right? So if I go to load pages and not load all pages, I can specify which ones I want. And if you have an option to scroll and see which page is which, if I put in 1, then I should see page 1. If I put in 5, I should see page 5. But I don't. Let's see. Well, let's just load all the pages, because I really thought that it was, okay, that's 5. See how I told you that 5 and 8 are probably going to be the pages that you don't need? That's that little side of the shirt right there. See that? So you don't need 5 and 8. So if I want to tell it, and I want to check and make sure that 8 is the other one I don't need. That's 8. I don't need 5 or 8. So if I want to load pages, I think I can do 1-4. So 1 through 4. I don't need 5. Then I do 6-7. I think that's how we can do it. And let's see. Because I think you use a comma to separate the different ranges. So let's say we should get 6 tiles out of this. 1. Hey!
Yes!
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was missing 5. That's fine. 6 and 7. Be meow. Now, what I don't like is this gonna print this way. I've never printed from this program, so this is really me learning too, as a matter of fact. And I'm trying to make sure if it looks right. Page 2. Something looks a little bit.
Okay, so 2 and 3. No. Okay, yeah, 2 will go on the side of no. Okay, because see, this is 6 goes under 2 and 7 goes under 3.
But typically, like 2 and 3 are gonna be filled all the way from the middle out. It's doing something, and I don't know. Like I said, it might be just this situation. Let me close that off, and let me do this. Let's go file, open just one of those pages, and see what it looks like. So we're just going to load one page, and it also might be that, see how it was giving us the vertical view of the page, and we really only needed needed it landscape. So let's see. That's what I was talking about. See what it did?
Yeah, it cut it off.
Well, it's because the paper is loading as portrait, and the image is loading as landscape.
Landscape, okay.
So let's see if there's an option to change that in. And you know what? There was an option to change that in Photoshop. I mean, in Acrobat. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to do, and this is good because Affinity, Photoshop doesn't have the issue. It will open it up exactly as it is, and it will print it exactly as it is. So I think it's good that we're running into these issues. We're going to open up test again, and this time when we go to tile and file and print, let's make sure that it's on portrait. So we'll change our paper to, like you had it changed, to 13 by 19. I'm going to change my settings to high quality. We have it on poster. I'm going to change it to 0.5 for my overlap. And I thought we did, we did have it on landscape before. So let's make sure from here on out that we keep it on portrait.
Okay.
Because it didn't show it as using landscape. It showed it just the same preview. So let's see if that changes the game for us. And I think everything else looks the same, looks right. You let me know if you think I'm missing anything.
No, I think everything's good.
All right, so let's print this one. And it's going to ask us what we want to save this as. And see how that thing popped up and it didn't show us? That's what happened last time. We were just sitting there looking at it. Okay, so this one we're going to call towel, and we'll call this one portrait. So then that way we can make sure that we understand what the difference is.
Okay.
I probably need another R in there. All right, so this is the portrait. And let's see if that works better. But if it opens up like it's supposed to and all of those tiles just bam, splat in your face, ready to print, that would be amazing. All right, so we give that a little time. Let's see. You know, I don't like to sit idle and watch nothing. Let's say in the meantime, I was gonna say if there's anything else that you want to know how it works or what it does. Anytime we have downtime, we're waiting on that. You can feel free to ask questions.
Well, I just know I'm going to take another class. I think I'm going to do Photoshop, so I really can follow your videos.
Well, if you're considering that, have you ever downloaded Photoshop on your computer before?
No.
Okay, so there's a free 7-day trial. And I just made a video today showing people which Photoshop to get and how to download it. So if you're interested, I'm going to have a $20 Photoshop class tomorrow. And it's first come, first serve. It's the seats fill up because it's going to be done via Zoom. And this is mostly going to be newbies. So I don't want you to feel bad at all. And most of them are downloading Photoshop for the first time just to attend this class. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a template, we're going to open it, we're going to get our workspace all looking the same so that you see the right tabs and you know where your tools are. We're going to edit an image, and then I'm going to show everybody the print properties too. So how you print straight from there.
Okay.
So that will be it will be a 2-hour class. We're going to do it 8 o'clock tomorrow. And I'm going to post the link in the Innate Creatives group.
Okay.
So if that's something you're interested in, if you have time tomorrow, that would be a good kind of just in your face.
Yeah.
First timer, you won't get something done in that first time. And then if you don't like Photoshop, or I tell you what, if you try Photoshop, and you're understanding the elements of it, see how I can come into your program and I've never seen this program before.
Yeah.
And I can kind of get the general idea of what the tools do and at least know what it's called to look it up. That's what learning and mastering one program can do for other programs.
Yeah.
So if you can get good with Photoshop and you need help, the Photoshop is going to be the easiest help to get. But I can always do sessions like this. Like if you wanted to stick with this program, it's just that it takes me a little time to figure out what you need to do next. All right, so let's see. Oh, it opened it up in. Now, why is it twisting this stuff up on this page? Let me see if it opens that way. Let's see, file, now we're going to open.
There it is.
And let's open the portrait. It looks to be right. Let's just load all pages. We're not going to do anything extra. It should be 300 DPI. And, okay.
It did it.
Oh, I guess I shouldn't sound surprised. I'm supposed to be very confident. I knew it was going to do that, Okay, so it did it. So at this point in time, I would say that you know how to print from this setup, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you notice, I want you to notice see how this little piece of confetti here, and I'm going to click here, that piece of confetti repeats over here. You're going to use those cues and those clues when you go slicing that edge off to say, okay, well, I want to make sure that these things line up. It's going to happen right here, these glasses, but now you don't have the glasses cut off. You have an overlap.
Yeah.
You can play a little bit with it. And it's gonna get it gets real stupid right here in this 4-piece when you're trying to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the good thing is you don't have anything like an eyeball or anything really important in the middle of those 4, so you're gonna be perfectly fine now.
Okay.
You don't print page number 5. Matter of fact, I don't know if there's a way you can delete it, but you don't need page number 5 and you don't need page number 8.
Page number 8. Okay.
Okay. And you barely need page 1 and 4. And if you get really good, what you can do is, you don't need this little piece down here. And I'm being fancy and extra right now. I'm gonna undo it when I'm done. But you might. Nah, I lied.
It's too big.
I was like, you might be able to, but you know what? There's a little something called rotate. Let me see. Because I'm all about the savage.
Save, yeah, me too.
I'm with it, baby. So
look, that's called with having kids.
I think we got something going on here where you could do this in 5 prints, baby. We done discovered something today. I'm telling you, this video gonna get 1 million views from people printing Affinity right now. All right, so what I'm gonna do for this layer that I'm messing with right now, what is that? What layer am I messing with? That one. Okay, so I'm on page 1. I'm gonna open this up. Cause see, it has white around it. I'm going to, which one is on top of this one? This one's on top. Or is it that one on top? This one's on top. So the one that's on top, I'm gonna change the blend mode instead of normal. I'm gonna change it to multiply. I thought it was on top. And really that white should disappear. That white should disappear when I have this on multiply. Oh, you know what? It's not just the image. It's the image and there's a curve on there. I don't know what the curve does. I don't think I want to know what the curve does. But what I was trying to do is get that little white off of there, because if that white comes off, then you can print this just fine. Oh, you know what? That white isn't even the concern. It's something else from somewhere else. Where's the rest of this image? That's it? Oh, it's not cut off. Girl, both of those things on this page. You better go print these 5 pages and let me know it works. And I don't, on those Epsons, I don't like putting things very close to the top of the page, because if you notice, it'll kind of get ink up there in those corners. So give you a look. Yeah, you're ready to go. You're ready to go. So is
there a particular paper that you really like? I mean, I know you have your own paper, and I don't have that yet.
I do, and I use, when I don't use that, I use the text print paper. But I noticed that with the text print, it was curling up real bad on the edges. So what would happen is, when I send it through my printer, the print head would hit it, and it would be hitting it and curling up on that edge, and it would really bother me. So that's why I started sourcing my own paper. But that will be available soon. But the text print, it was what I used for several years. So I'm a diehard fan of the text print. You have to make sure you get the one for Epson and not for the Ricoh printer. And it's usually like 120 grams. I've heard people say to use A-sub. When I use that A-sub, it was getting pizza wheels out of this world. And pizza wheels is where you kind of get those little black track marks. They just look like little dotted lines that just randomly appear. Yeah. And I will never do that again. I had huge orders, and I have like 4 printers going at a time. And, I take 2 of my printers with me on mobile jobs and stuff. And when I started seeing those pizza wheels, I was like, never again. So I don't know if other people have good experience with it. I had a horrible experience with it for Christmas season. So that was the worst time to play these on my paper.
Okay. So what about the shirts?
Shirts, 21 M's, if you can find them. Right now they're getting a little scarce, but definitely 21M or Vapor. Vapor is much more expensive, but you get consistent results with Vapor. 21M, sometimes their shirts come out yellow. Like, you know how when you receive them, they'll have a yellow version of it, then a brighter blue version of it, and it's all supposed to be white. I had that issue, but especially for all overs, 21Ms are perfect. Inexpensive. You're gonna rarely have bad quality, like holes or bad stitches and that sort of thing. And I've heard people say they use the Cricut brand shirts. I've never used them, but I've heard good things about the quality of those shirts.
Okay. So as far as the paper, you said 120 grams.
Yeah, 120 grams is going to be good. And the reason why you want a little bit heavier, because I think they have like 100-gram. GSM is the standard of measurement. I think is it grams? Grams per square meter. I think it's is how it is, grams per square meter. I think that's what GSM stands for. But anything lighter than that, if it gets a little humid, it tends to make the paper kind of real soggy.
Okay.
And the soggier the paper, the harder it is to push it through that printer.
Okay. So what's the
So
difference between the 120 and the 125?
just a little bit of a heavier paper.
Okay.
And see, too heavy a paper can throw you off too, because the a couple of things depending on the coating of it, the ink can sink too far into the paper. Ink sinks too
Uh-huh.
far into the paper, then it feels like you're not getting a good release. So
Okay.
120 grams is pretty much what you want, and then you want to be stressing your printer out, because if you're printing too much thick paper, imagine if you print cardstock all day, your tracking for your paper, how it picks up, is going to start slipping, and then all of a sudden it's going to start picking up 2 pages rather than one, and getting paper jams and all of that. So too thick
Okay.
of a paper is not a good idea either. So that
Okay.
120 has been my sweet spot. That's I think
Okay.
that's what my paper is, 120.
Okay.
So you're ready to do this for 5 pages, huh?
I am. I'm ready. I'm ready to
I'm
print now.
excited.
I can't ready to post it.
All right, love. Well, this has been, and I'm gonna have to update the other one, because now that I can show people that they can do it 5 pages, I have to update the Photoshop
And then you
version.
also have Affinity now for the Affinity users.
Absolutely. And see, this is Affinity Designer, and people have been asking me to do Affinity Designer, and I'm like, nope, 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 never seen the program, don't want to see it, because I already get aggravated doing Affinity Photo. But this opened my eyes to that Affinity Designer is very much like Affinity Photo. It's not so scary. I
Yeah.
don't know if it has some of the features like cutting out the background and that sort of thing, but this was not a bad experience at all.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Oh,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. And let me know if we do we make up time? Okay, we're good on making up time. I want to make sure that you got your full hour in. And if there's anything else that you need, you let me know. Okay?
No, we are good. And I'm going to sign up for another class
Yay!
because I learned so much today. I'm so excited. I can't wait to print it.
Well, I'm so glad. I can't wait to see it, love.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, Jennifer. I'll see you later,
Okay.
huh?
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.